The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers nor Rogers TV.
Durham region is made up of 8 slices. Not one municipality can stand on its own, and only when we all come together can we do great things. And Durham region is going to be the next economic engine of the province of Ontario.
Okay, that was the scene this past Monday night at John Henry's victory party. Henry elected to the position of Durham Regional Chair with a whopping 55% of the vote, October 22nd. The outgoing mayor of Oshawa, now our regional chair-elect, joins us in studio now. John Henry, welcome and congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be here.
I have to tell you, or ask you, what was going through your mind at that point?
Well, you know, it was exciting. We waited late because the Pickering results hadn't been in, and you know, we were in a good place, but once we got those results and we came in, and it was just exciting. It was great to be surrounded by family and friends, people who I've known my entire business life had come out to help us. I had relatives from both sides, my mom's side, my dad's side, they'd been in and worked with us, and of course Kathy and my daughter Danielle were both there. Jessica's away at university. But the team, my friends that had supported me through this entire endeavor, it was amazing. It was their win. They really deserved the win. And I'm standing on stage, but I'm really standing there on their behalf and on all the people that voted for me.
Was it like walking through a dream, though, as you were working your way through the crowd and everybody is cheering for you and everybody is hugging you and shaking your hand?
It was amazing because there were people in the room that I've known for actually forever. Friends of the family that, you know, were there after my parents brought me home. Were in the room, and then right up to all my friends, including having Kathy and Danielle there, was really special. Most people know I have 2 dads. I have my dad who raised me, and then I had the gentleman who trained me in my career, and it was there, and Julio was there to celebrate with me as well. It was an amazing evening. I was so proud that you know, I was there with people that, you know, had enough trust in me to be behind me and drive me through the 14 weeks or a little bit longer than that. It was an amazing experience.
Okay, well, let's talk about the campaign trail. You were always very positive about the outcome, but did you think you were going to win by 55%? And you won every single community's race for regional chair.
We didn't really think. We knew we were doing well because, you know, you go out and you canvass as much as we did. You know, some 43,000 doors through the entire region, and the region is huge. You know, it's 6 federal ridings, a little bit bigger than 6 federal ridings. It's half the size of Prince Edward Island. I know.
We all know that Durham region is a huge area, but when you think half the size of Prince Edward Island.
Well, you know, in order to canvass in the north, you had to drive for 50 minutes. Yeah. So you could canvass for 3 or 4 hours and then 50 minutes to come back home. So the region is huge. The issues are different in each of our communities. There are some issues that interrelate: policing and transit, opiates, mental health, domestic violence are in every community. So there's a lot of challenges and a lot of great opportunities to do some really good things throughout the entire region.
Well, I mean, it paid off. As we said, 55% overall. But I mean, in Ajax, you had 42.5% of the vote. I'm just looking at the figures here. 51% in Brock, 55% basically in Clarington. Oshawa, 73% there. Pickering, 43%. Scugog, 59%. Uxbridge, 48%.
You know, part of it was we had a great team. I'm so proud of the work that they were able to do, but you know, getting out and meeting people, knocking on doors, getting to events is really important. But I'm really proud that I had been doing that my entire time in office. So getting up into an event in Uxbridge wasn't something that out of the norm for me. So, but you know, we're busy and a lot of things happening. And I'm happy to be out there every day. This is a 7-day-a-week job as an elected official. People call you with challenges 7 days a week, and it's exciting. But it was an amazing win. I'm excited about the results, and you know, what's really great is we now have a mandate in all 8 municipalities. That by winning all 8 shows that there's a belief in what we were putting out there, talking about the important things that affected those communities. So we're excited to work on that. You know, as we said from the beginning, getting the tolls off the 412 and the 418 were something that we were already working on long before the election. Getting the employment lands on the 412, 418, and 407 so that we can put people who live in this community to work in this community so our kids have a place to work. You know, people will want to go downtown to work in Toronto all the time, but given the opportunity, a lot of people would like to stay home and get an extra 3 hours a day with their family.
Darn tootin'. So on the campaign trail, I mean, Oshawa is a big enough municipality to try and cover from border to border in an election, but Durham Regional Chair, and that is 7 municipalities. How did you do it?
Well, 8 municipalities.
8, right?
And we were out every day. We didn't really canvass on Sunday till the last week, but we were out, and you know, we were either at events or we were canvassing, and that's important. I still believe that that people have an expectation that the candidates are going to stop at your door and given the opportunity, ask the questions. So I'm proud that we did that. We had conversations in Zephyr and Kendall and Orono and you know, in Pickering and Ajax, that we'd met people that they'd want to talk about the things that affected their lives, that were important to them, things that they'd like to see done. And you know, in a democracy like ours, the greatest gift you can give to a candidate is that vote. And I was very fortunate I got a mandate in all communities.
And you said you lost weight.
Lost 30 pounds canvassing.
So that's the key. You've got to run for Durham Regional Chair. That's how we can all lose weight.
Well, I lost weight running for mayor too, but you know, you're out on the hottest days of the year canvassing. On the last day, it was snowing, and it snowed a couple times while we were out canvassing. So it's a lot of work, and you know, for those who are out there and that were campaigning, I say it is one of the greatest things you can do. In our democracy in Canada is so different than anywhere else in the world. That gift of that vote is so amazing. And then politicians, you know, once they're in office, have to remember that it's about the people that voted them in. Our job is about people, and every day we need to remember that and be serving to the people.
And yet the voter turnout, once again, very disappointing. You know, in most communities, it was under 30%, unlike Scugog and Uxbridge, which were around the 50% mark. Yeah,
it's challenging. You know, people are busy with their lives, and you know, we live in a democracy that gives you the ability to vote, but you also have the ability not to vote. I hope the numbers get greater in future elections. This country is so amazing that having being a part of that by casting a vote is simply amazing, and I'm hoping that the numbers get greater as technology improves, as the ability for people to get to the polling station or do it but through mail or electronically. But you know, we did get comments that there are people that still wanted to be able to turn in that ballot or vote by hand in all municipalities. So that's something that we'll have to talk about in the future.
In talking to people, what many of us found here working on the local campaign and the local results was that when you ask them about municipal politics, they don't really understand the scope and how important the decisions that are made at the municipal level are to their day-to-day lives. What's your message to people who chose not to vote this time around?
So at the municipal level of government, we deliver everything that touches your lives every day. Water, sewer, roads, traffic lights, social housing, seniors, libraries, art galleries, health and social services, policing, fire. it's all done through either the upper or lower tier. It's either done through the region or done through the 8 municipalities. So we affect you in everything you do every day. Once you turn the tap on in the morning to brush your teeth till you drive home at the end of the day and park in your driveway. So what we do is very much different than both the provincial and federal levels of government.
What's going to be your first order of business?
Well, that's already started. You know, I've been making some phone calls to congratulations. Of course, it was a big campaign to clean up after, so signs were another big part. But mostly making sure that we are in good shape. I'm still the mayor of Oshawa till the end of November, so we still have all the stuff going on in Oshawa. But at the region, you know, today was a great day at the region because we got to honor Chair Anderson, and we planted a tree at behind the regional headquarters building over on Garden in Roslyn. So there's lots going on. Lots of planning that needs to be done. We need to make sure that we get everything in place for the swearing in on December 3rd. And in the meantime, Chair O'Connor is doing a great job, and I'll continue to do the work as the mayor till the end of the month, and then Dan Carter will be sworn in and take over for us.
How difficult is that transition going to be for you?
You know, I've had 8 years, well, 12 years, because 4 years as a councillor, regional councillor, and then 8 years as mayor. You know, you make a lot of friends at City Hall. You know, I've watched some of our great leaders in the city move on and retire or move on to other cities. I've had the privilege of working with some amazing city managers, including the current city manager, Jag Sharma. You celebrate when people have kids. You see when their kids go off to school. You develop a relationship, and no different than being here at Rogers. So going out the door, I know I'm leaving it in good hands, but I'm going to miss the team that I work with every day at the city, and hopefully that they'll invite me back for the odd retirement.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
I hope so.
So people will be what you miss most.
People, well, that's exactly what our job is too. This job is about people, and you know, we've got lots of challenges in all 8 municipalities where we need to remember that each and every day what we do first is make sure the needs of people are met, and whether it be in some of the challenges we're having related to opiate or homelessness, to making sure that they're well served through health and social services. There are a lot of challenges, and you know, when you have a great team, and I'm looking forward to building that perfect pie, as the opening segment said, where all 8 slices come together. The region's really the pie plate. It holds everything together. And when you have a strong regional government, then you have a voice at the province and at the federal government. You know, when I'm hopeful that, you know, when a mayor of a community in Durham gets a meeting with a minister at the Association of Municipalities Ontario meetings, that behind him is all the other mayors, not beside him, but behind him, so that the minister that he's sitting across from knows that this is an important issue for that community, but it's an important issue for the rest of us as well. Okay,
I'm going to hold you there. We're going to go to a quick break. We will return momentarily with more of our conversation with the newly elected Durham Regional Chair, John Henry. Don't go away.
The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace TV. Enjoy exclusive content for free. Visit RogersAnyplaceTV.com.
Sometimes, for a wish to come true, it takes a kingdom, because together is stronger. Tied tight, united we stand, in honor of one child's wish, to fuel the fire that will grant many more. Join the kingdom.
Hi, I'm Larry Bonehill, and if you love horses, you don't want to miss a single episode of Ride With Me. From barrel racers to show jumpers, it all takes place in Durham region. And Rogers TV is there to catch it for you. So that's Ride With Me, only on Rogers TV.
Do you know why it's important to dispose of your household hazardous waste safely? Household hazardous waste can be dangerous to yourself and the environment. Toxic materials can harm aquatic life, destroy sensitive ecosystems, pollute recreation sites, and water supplies. So think about it next time you go to dispose your hazardous waste in your garbage can. For more information on household waste, visit durham.ca/waste. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover.
Oh my goodness, there's a lot more time involved than you think there is. That the job is really 7 days a week, but you're going to meet some of the greatest people in your community, and you'll be able to do really good things. And that if you have a bad minute, it's only a bad minute. There's lots more minutes in the day.
Thank you, John. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so there you have you on election night. And we had just finished asking you what advice you had for newly elected Oshawa Mayor Dan Carter. What bit of advice you would give him, the scenario if you knew then what you knew now.
Well, that being mayor is a 7-day-a-week job.
Yeah.
That you will deal with, there's all kinds of things that happen during the course of a week that are absolutely amazing, but you do get bad minutes, and it'll be the message that comes that there's been a fire in town or there's been an accident, and you have to be able to deal with that. But what's really important is to understand that there's lots of minutes in a day, and if you only have a few bad ones, then that's okay.
What is his biggest challenge going forward, do you think, for Dan?
Well, Dan's, the challenge for a mayor or a regional chair is to get harmony on your council. Everybody got elected on their own ideas and principles, and now it's about taking all of those ideas and working together to advance the community. We're really lucky. Oshawa has had some amazing growth over the last couple of years. The numbers have all come out, and I'm very proud of that. But they've had great growth in Pickering. Great things are happening in Clarington. Some exciting stuff in North Whitby, and then you can follow up into the northern communities where companies are moving there and opening, and of course agriculture is such a big business in the north. So there's all these things, but for Dan is to keep the energy up, continue to do what they're doing. There's a lot of great projects that are coming on stream, and just being able to manage it all and rely upon the people you work with. We have great employees in the organization. Your CAOs are simply amazing, and just they'll come in and you'll have a conversation, and they'll come to council, and then you'll be able to deal with some really good issues. But there'll be some tough issues they'll have to deal with too.
Challenges too, not just for Dan as the mayor of Oshawa, but for many of the mayors this time around, because not only do they have returning faces, but there's a lot of new faces too. And how do you, and in Oshawa's case, it's not only familiar faces, it's familiar faces that have departed for a while and are now back, along with some new faces and a new man at the helm. Well, there's a challenge there at meshing as well. And
the rules have changed in governance, so there's a lot of things happening. So there's an educational process that comes at both levels, both at the region and in the municipalities, where newly elected people, or all elected people, will be brought back up to speed on the changes. So it's exciting. It's a learning curve. A big challenge for everyone is they get through sworn in and then right into budget time, and that's going to be a busy time.
You were wearing a very special tie in that clip. I want you to explain to me why that was.
So that tie is the tie of the Ontario Regiment, and the regiment is older than Confederation. And when the regiment was really formed, it was made up of companies of soldiers that came from all over Durham region. So they came from Cannington, and they came from Whitby, and they came from Columbus, and they formed the Ontario Regiment. It wasn't called that at the time, to protect us. That tie represented all the municipalities in Durham. And today it's the Ontario Regiment that still young men and women go and defend us and protect us and join the regiment and are members of our armed services. But it ties us into Colonel Sharp, who was from Uxbridge, who led the 116th Battalion to Europe in World War I. Only 2 MPs served overseas. He was re-elected while he was in the trenches in Europe, and came back and had some challenges in his personal life. And there's a statue in Uxbridge right now commemorating Colonel Sharp. And it was important to me to wear that tie because it brings the region together.
So who says men don't put a lot of thought into their wardrobe? You put a lot of thought into that, didn't you?
Into that tie only. But it was important because when you think about it, it goes back to the region becoming a region 153 years ago to protect us during the Fenian raids. It's about the region coming together to do great things. For me, it's important, and it was important for me to wear it.
You've got some pretty big shoes to fill.
Oh my goodness, Roger was such an amazing individual. Most people know that my wife's, Kathy's dad, was a police superintendent with Durham Regional Police, and Roger had worked while he was there. And then I knew Roger prior to politics because of the businesses that I was in. But Roger was an amazing person. He was a leader among leaders. Today we planted a tree for him through AMO at regional headquarters. He was part of FCM. He was part of getting the gas tax dollars. He is a legend in the political world and an amazing man and a good mentor. One of the first people to congratulate me when I became mayor, and I was lucky enough to actually nominate him when the regional chair was a nominated position. So before he ran for an election and won in the last election. So he was an amazing man.
The most important thing you learned from Roger?
Oh, Roger, it's about being organized. It's if you've got a message and you want to deliver it, make sure you have everything that you need in front of you at the time. That he was a good team player, quick to thank you when you did something. But if there was something that he needed to tell you, he would tell you and hold nothing back. And he was quite an amazing individual, and he passed that on to a lot of people that worked with him, not just the politicians but staff as well. And the current chair, Chair O'Connor, is part of that group too. And so he's influenced a lot of lives, and really did advance the region. And it's going to be a tough job to fill his shoes and the current chair's shoes.
Now, as you said, he was a formidable force, described by many as really crusty on the outside until you got to know him, and then he could be a real marshmallow on the inside. But you know, he was like a Tasmanian devil, and when he wanted something done, it was get out of his way because it was going to happen. Well,
and I think at the other levels of government, ministers feared him. If Roger had a meeting with them and it was on a particular issue, Roger would rule the room. It didn't matter if you were the Minister of Finance, the Premier. It was pretty amazing to see him in action, and he did a great job representing the people of Durham and making sure that our voices were heard.
How does your leadership style differ? Well,
I'm not Roger, and nor could I ever try to be like Roger. I manage a different way. I'm more of a manager from the bottom up instead of the top down. And you know, it's a willingness to work together for a common cause and making sure that everybody is informed. So I'm going to carry some of Roger's traits forward. But you know, I'm my own person, and I'm really proud of what I've been able to accomplish on regional council as a member of regional council, and then what we've been able to do in the city of Oshawa. You don't win every vote. When the issue's over, the issue's over. You go on to the next issue, and that's where it's important to make sure that everybody understands. You know, you may have a difference of opinion on an item, but when the item's done, it's over and move on. There's no time for, you know, crying over spoiled milk kind of things. It's just time to move on to the next thing, and because there's lots of things that are happening and will be happening in Durham region.
How are you going to promote this region to the province?
Well, you know, I'm excited about that because when you meet with so it was easy for mayors of municipalities to get meetings and to be heard, but you weren't really heard. When you showed up, if you were the mayor of Oshawa or Whitby, any one of the 8 municipalities, and you met with a minister, you know, they'd listen to you, but you know, you're not quite a riding, or you might be a cover of riding, but it didn't really work that way. My goal is that if a mayor in this community gets a meeting at AMO, that there's representatives of all the 7 municipalities in the regional chair sitting behind them, so that minister understands that the issue is important to Brock Township or to Scugog or to Newcastle or to Clarington, but it's really important to all of us in the room. And when you look at all of us, we represent over 6 ridings, federal ridings. So we represent 670,000 people, not just one municipality. So my goal is to bring us all to the table at the same time to sit behind that mayor that's got a problem or a challenge where he's trying to get money, so we can support him as well. So that would be my plan. It's about delivering the 8 slices of pie wherever we go as a group to make sure that we're heard.
And how do you not create that culture of cooperation, but foster it and make it stronger?
Well, I'm starting to do that already. I've had conversations with some of the mayors on some of the issues now, and I hope by the end of the week I'll have been able to talk to all of them about moving forward as a united group. When we're meeting with the other levels of government, there's important issues. I'll give you an example. Getting the GO train to Clarington by 2024 as promised by Premier Wynne. Getting the tolls off the 412 and the 418. You've got a road that the only person on that 412 today is the police officer trying to catch one of the 5 people that are driving up there speeding as we speak. You know, we've got problems at Harmony Road where you'll never be able to build an on-ramp, but you know, when you move that traffic to the 418 and there's no tolls, in Curtis you would drive 5 minutes east to save 25 minutes going west to get on to the 401. Why is Durham the only municipality in all of Ontario that you have to pay a toll to get onto a toll road? It doesn't make sense. So let's use the roads to create opportunities. There's employment lands attached to those roads. We need to get the province to release those lands so they can start to be developed, and we can create opportunities right here in Durham for our people.
Okay, we only have a minute left. I have to ask you, did you ever think when you first became a regional councillor that eventually you would be sitting at the region as its chair? Was that ever in your plan? It wasn't.
It was never in my plan to run for mayor. It was a series of circumstances that got me to when I ran for mayor and was lucky to have 2 terms. And now, you know, there's a timing in people's lives, and the opportunity came forward to put my name forward, and I was happy. There was a number of us that put our names down to run for regional chair. But I think the work that has been done and the hard work of the team that helped me get elected has been seen, and I'm proud to say that, you know, we won a good mandate in all communities, and I'm looking forward to working with all the mayors of each municipality to advance the region.
We are out of time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you
for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come talk to us. We want you back.
Anytime.
Okay, you heard it here first. Our thanks to Durham Regional Chair-elect John Henry for joining us. Thanks to you for joining us. Until next time, I'm Deborah Hutchison.